Welcome to this explainer. Today we're looking at Don Quijote, often just called Donki. It's this incredibly distinctive Japanese discount retail chain, famously known for having massive stores absolutely packed floor to ceiling with, well, pretty much everything. We're talking food, cosmetics, household goods, electronics, fashion, souvenirs, and unexpected bargains. And we're going to use Donki today to explore the entire future of physical retail. The main thing I want you to learn today is this. Physical stores absolutely must evolve from being places where people simply buy products into destinations people actually want to visit. Let's dive in.
So, you know that feeling when you walk into a store, fully intending to just grab, a bottle of shampoo, and somehow you walk out with a basket full of imported snacks, a new face wash, and maybe some novelty socks? We've all been there, right? You might just laugh it off as a lack of self-control, but that accidental shopping behavior, it's actually the core of a massive, highly calculated retail shift.
Here is our agenda for today's explainer. First, the secret of Donki. Then, beyond just low prices, purpose versus discovery shopping, turning time into sales, stores as entertainment media, and finally, the future retail formula.
Let's start with Section 1, the secret of Donki. The immense strength of this retail giant really boils down to just two major factors. The first is extreme price competitiveness, and the second, which is what we are going to focus heavily on today, is a deep treasure hunt style of entertainment.
Think about how inflation affects us all. When the basic cost of living goes up, things like rent, food, electricity, we naturally become way more price conscious. The immediate human reaction is to seek out obvious everyday value. So a retailer that can boldly offer low prices and surprising bargains instantly creates a very rational reason for customers to walk through their doors. In an inflationary environment, a discount model totally wins that first battle, getting people inside.
Which brings us to Section 2, beyond just low prices.
Because here's the reality check. Relying purely on low prices is a really dangerous long-term game. If price is your only weapon, you're eventually going to lose. The internet can always beat physical stores on sheer efficiency. You can open an app on your phone, search for a product on a platform like Amazon, and instantly see the absolute cheapest option available. You don't even have to put your shoes on. If a physical store is nothing more than a room full of cheap items, an e-commerce platform will eventually do it cheaper and faster.
And that naturally leads into Section 3, purpose versus discovery shopping.
This is the core contrast of our explainer, the fundamental difference in psychological appeal between buying online and buying in a store. Online shopping is essentially purpose buying. It's a straight line. You search, you compare, you buy. The product comes first. But physical retail's true strength lies in a winding path, discovery buying. You walk in thinking, I wonder what I'll find today. You wander the aisles, you discover something you totally didn't expect, and then you decide to buy. The physical experience comes before the product.
I absolutely love this concept. Don Quixote sells unsearchable fun. You literally cannot type "surprise me with something weird I didn't know I wanted" into an online search bar. E-commerce is the master of searchability, sure, but a store like Donki leans entirely into the randomness of wandering through a maze of products. That sense of surprise turns shopping into a literal treasure hunt, and that's an exclusive advantage that a website simply cannot replicate.
Moving on to Section 4, turning time into sales.
So, how does this abstract sense of fun actually translate into hard business metrics? Well, when a store is entertaining, dwell time goes up. The longer a customer wanders around discovering things, the more physical contact they have with different products. And increased product contact directly leads to more impulse and accidental buys, exactly like that shampoo turned snacks and cosmetics scenario we talked about earlier. Naturally, that drives up the total basket size and overall sales. Entertainment is literally the engine that drives revenue.
The crucial takeaway here is a massive mindset shift for modern retail. Stores have got to stop obsessing solely over transaction efficiency, rushing people in and out as fast as possible. Instead, they need to start figuring out how to maximize the time consumers willingly and happily spend inside the building. Time spent is the new ultimate metric for physical retail success.
All right, Section 5, stores as entertainment media.
We are seeing the rise of this experiential retail everywhere, across completely different industries. Look at the food industry. At a place like Marugami Udon in Japan, you aren't just eating, you are watching the entire cooking process right in front of you. The kneading, the boiling, the frying of the tempura, it's dinner and a show. Or look at the apparel industry.
It's no longer just about picking a shirt off a hanger. It's about in-store styling events, customization, learning how garments are actually made, and building a community. The physical space has to act as a media channel for experiencing the backstage of a brand.
And this shift is absolutely mandatory, because think about who stores are actually competing with for your time today. It is not just the shop across the street anymore. If you have 3 hours of free time on a Saturday, a store is competing with Netflix, sitting in a cozy cafe, scrolling social media, or playing video games. To win a person's free time, simply saying, "Hey, we have products on shelves," just isn't a compelling pitch anymore.
Let's wrap this up with Section 6, the future retail formula. We can synthesize all of this into a very simple, actionable formula. Product times price times discovery times experience equals a store you want to visit. Product and price are your baseline. Obviously, you still need things people want at a fair cost. But discovery and experience, those are the mandatory multipliers. If discovery and experience are 0, the whole equation equals 0, and your customer is just going to go to an online retailer instead. These multipliers are the defining difference between a warehouse and a destination. Ultimately, this is the entire paradigm shift we've been talking about today. Physical stores absolutely must evolve from being places where people just buy products into destinations that provide a distinct reason to visit. Whether that's the thrill of a treasure hunt like at Don Quixote, the sensory experience of watching your food being made, or a community event at a clothing store, the true value is in the visit itself.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to ponder the next time you have some free time and decide to go shopping. Is that local store genuinely offering you an experience you couldn't get from your couch? Or is it just a warehouse with a cash register? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I hope this changes the way you look at the physical stores around you.